This episode is brought to you by Elizabeth Mello, Totally Jumbled, Kyle of It's Club Adventure, and Dice Profit. With YouTube becoming a nightmare for small creators every day, these guys keep the channel running. And a very special thanks to Kyle of It's Club Adventure who put together this awesome logo. If you want to help out the channel, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/thatcybertchannel. Now, on to the review! Siri, remind me to take the pizza out of the oven in about 15 minutes.
Cybert is excited for pizza, but he knows he should be making something healthier.
Sorry, what?
Cybert knows it's not too late. If he follows the arrows, he could swap out the pizza for a skinless chicken.
Okay, Mr. Judgy Disembodied Voice. I think I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna stick with the pizza.
Cybert feels the urge to take the pizza out and make a delicious chicken dish with green beans. A much more healthier dish.
Don't you tell me how to run my life!
Cybert follows the arrows.
Nope, shut up! Thank you.
Cybert will have terrible heartburn.
Will not! Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of That Cyber Channel. I'm Dan Cybert, the aforementioned Cybert of the Cyber Channel. I just don't think I've ever actually pointed that out. A while ago, I received a review copy for a brand new PS4 game called Icey, which means we've done it. We're officially a good review channel. That's right, balloons! Future Dan, you think you could throw a few more balloons up? Okay, cool, thanks. Well, today we are going to be covering the game Icey. Welcome to Icey. Developed by Fantablade Network, this game recently found its way onto the PlayStation Network after being live on Steam for about a year. So let's kick this off with the story. This may be the worst idea I've ever had. You'll see why very soon. Do you like Stanley Parable, Pony Island, or Superhot? Well, get ready for the meta mind fondling that you see from those games. Similar to the Stanley Parable, the game features a narrator who will narrate your entire adventure, and he is obsessed with arrows.
She understands that as long as she follows the arrow, arrow.
But it's pretty clear, and quickly I might add, that this game is not what it seems to be. We're introduced rather early on that we're not playing as our hero Icey, but someone or something else. After finishing a short 5-minute tutorial, a glitch in the system kicks you out to a DOS-like machine. Then suddenly everything becomes super confusing. Who are we? Who is Icey? What is I? Trademark. Imagine Kingdom Hearts pre-final mix prologue extendum 79 over a handful of Mickey signature churros. Crap, now I want churros! Answering these questions is what this game is truly built on. Trying your best to take the small bits of info we get from the game to hopefully make heads and tails of Icey's mission. I suppose I should back up first and explain the plot that's presented to us in the beginning. So once our narrator is introduced, we learn that we are the chosen one created to stop Judas. Basically a reverse Jesus. Instead of being betrayed by Judas, he straight up kicks his ass with a laser sword. Snitches get stitches, Judas. It's presented as a very straightforward mission. Of course, if I haven't made it clear already, this game is anything but straightforward. One of the main draws to this game is the multiple endings. You can follow the path to Judas, or you can choose to completely ignore your quest to the narrator's dismay.
You jumped again? God, why did you jump down there again?
Exploring the other routes are the key to solving Icey's mystery. Each ending has a cryptic message at the end that helps tell the story of Judas and his minions. However, I still don't know what's going on. Granted, I haven't fully completed the game, which I think speaks a lot to the replayability of the game. You're definitely going to want to find all the endings to figure out what is actually happening. Before moving on from story though, I would like to talk about our arrow-obsessed guide.
Arrow.
The narrator is an interesting character since we have no idea what his objective is. Well, in theory, he becomes a little flat when all he could talk about is
Arrow.
It's just so heavy-handed. What could be an interesting character comes off very two-dimensional.
Look at the arrow.
Let's move from the story into the presentation. It's pretty. Everything in this game, from our main character, enemies, and backgrounds, are just delicious eye candy. Feels good in my eye. Yeah. First, let's talk about the environments. Each location of the game is simply gorgeous. Yes, even the sewers. While most sections do have the same basic level design, flat with some platforming, the locales feel vastly different thanks to the fantastic backdrops for each screen. Icey herself is also fantastically designed, though she does have that waifu feel. She's super mysterious and I know you're into that. Though I wish the design of the enemies varied a bit from place to place. Don't get me wrong, I think they're very well done. It's just that the locales are so diverse, I'd love to see the enemies change with it. Now when it comes to the sound design for combat, it is just phenomenal on so many levels. Each slice, dash, gunshot, it all sounds so crunchy and good.
Like the satisfying crunch of a churro. Why? Why do I bring it up when I know I can't have them?
As far as the music's concerned, it's alright. Nothing really stands out, but it's still solid nonetheless. Now time to really get into the meat of things. Let's talk gameplay. Now I don't normally talk about difficulty settings, but we need to talk about how your difficulty is picked in Icey. After the first 5 minutes of tutorials, you'll arrive in a room where you'll be asked a few questions. Based off your answers, you'll be given a difficulty. Which is fine and all, but once again, not everything is cut and dry in Icey. Much like the beginning part of Kingdom Hearts 1, the questions don't give you an idea on how to get your desired result. My first time I went through, I got hard. Cool. Then I tried shifting my answers to get normal mode, and got easy.
I don't want easy. F me.
And if you do want to change the difficulty, you either need to restart the game completely, or sit and wait by the entrance of the game for about 5 minutes. It's incredibly frustrating. I mean, could you imagine if real life was like this?
Yes. Yes. No?
Dan, a clown just spawned in the kitchen!
I just want churros.
Alright, moving on. As I mentioned earlier, exploring for alternate endings is a big part of the game. There is a lot to explore, but it's unfortunate that most of the routes I found were just because I ignored the arrows. Granted, I haven't found everything, but a lot of what is hidden is easy to find if you just don't follow the arrows. It's unfortunate because it'd feel more rewarding if somebody wasn't so obsessed with
Arrows.
That being said, it's still fun to explore the world and learn more about what's happening. Though I will say this right now, do the main plot first, since there are 2 upgrades you get for your dash that you'll want. Now let's talk about where I feel this game truly shines, combat. Holy sweet baby Jesus carrying a laser sword, the combat is amazing in this game. Icey is a 2D combo-based hack and slash, much like Dust and Elysian Tale or Muramasa the Demon Blade. Both great games I still need to play. If you've never played any of this, then take God of War, slap Kratos into the 2nd dimension and hope to God he doesn't come to kill you. Combat consists of linking light and heavy attacks together to perform devastating combos. Combine that with probably one of the most agile characters I've ever played, you'll be dashing around enemy attacks and stabbing them in the butt. It doesn't end there though. Deal enough damage to the enemies and you'll be lined up to perform an execution on their core. Which, if you didn't feel like a badass before, you should now! On execution, energy crystals will be created for you to absorb. By holding down attack, you can charge up a massive screen-wide attack, put 0 on the screen, 0 on the screen, more zeros on the screen,
More zeros on the screen. Put zeros on the screen.
you put more zeros on the screen.
Oh, but then I put zeros on the screen.
Now this is good and all, but you still have enemies in the way to try to break your combos. And they will. A lot. Enemies in this game can be frustrating at times because they are expert jugglers. I don't know if it's programmed in, but I can't count the number of times I got hit, grabbed, thrown, and shot all in a row. Now you have the dash in order to dodge and counter. However, you have such a small window to dodge an attack that you most likely will be grabbed by a mistimed dash. Oh, and don't get me started on these little flying spawns of robot Satan. I mean, we're already started, so we're in too deep now! These little guys can shoot lasers that reach across the entire screen and stop you dead in your tracks. Not to mention, this game has no invincibility frames after getting hit. So that little red beam is gonna juggle you for the next 30 seconds. All that said, there are ways to make taking down these robot hellspawn easier. As As you explore, you'll find checkpoints that double as a store for you to buy upgrades. These include powering up combos and increasing your health and shields. Trust me when I say level regeneration immediately is the only way you're gonna live. Money to buy these upgrades can be found by killing enemies or breaking these monitors. Like Sonic. These new moves and stat boosters will be essential to take down the bosses. Which, by the way, the bosses in Icey are easily my favorite thing in the game. Fighting them requires more thought than hit the square button. Looking at you, Kingdom Hearts. Hit X to win the heart light door over 3 5/8 days. I don't fucking know. All the bosses have some pretty big tells on attacks, but reacting to them is another challenge. To account for the quickness of Icey, boss attacks follow shortly after their windup. It's actually incredibly balanced. You're not going to be able to drop 15 combos on a boss all at once. Instead, you'll need to time out your attacks and retreats if you want to take down the enemy. Except for this jerk. He's the freaking worst and deserves nothing more but hot bologna in his pants. That joke brought to you by YouTube's ad-friendly filter. I swear I'm not bitter. Well, if you've been following the arrow, Judas is the only thing between you and your destiny, though your destiny has defied him, so maybe you and a delicious ice-cold popsicle. Judas can be a real pain if you aren't paying attention. His attacks can come fast, but keeping an eye out for those tells, this boss can be taken down relatively quickly. With Judas defeated, Icey has accomplished her goal, and
I'm not gonna show any more because that's part of the fun about Icey is unraveling the mystery. Just beating the main story itself is only scratching the surface. Overall, I really enjoyed Icey, and I look forward to decrypting even more of the story. Sure, I had a few gripes with it, but the pros do outweigh the cons on this one. So, what are my final thoughts on the game? Well, if you're looking for a good hack and slash indie game, I couldn't recommend this game enough. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go get some pizza. What the hell?
Dan. You know I'm just looking out for you.
Dude, just let me eat the pizza!
But time and time again, you've ignored my advice. Well, now I have to intervene.
What do you mean, intervene?
I mean, that pizza will slowly kill you. It'll be a long process with a very painful ending.
Okay, hold on a minute.
So, I would be doing you a favor.
Come on.
If we just ended it now.
Stop! Hello, everyone, and welcome to... Wait a minute, I've already done this.
thank you so much for watching. A huge thanks to all my Patreon patrons for your support. If you'd like to see more videos more often, then consider becoming a patron. You'll get access to extra content as I finish it, and hell, I'll even play some games with you. Don't forget to subscribe. We're so close to 10,000 subs, and I'd love to reach it before the end of the year. Hit that bell to get notified when I post here. Follow me on Twitch. Not to mention, you can catch my face on TGN Squadron and my mad editing skills over at Game Theory. #humblebrag. And until next time, Cybert out.